Hello, everybody. I'm Pat, and this is the latest in a series of Niwa author interviews. With me today is Patrick Timm, who's writer of nonfiction, history, and mystery. Um, so let's see, your most recent book, Whispers in the Wind. It's a novel set in the Northwest, right? Looks like a mystery with a deep focus on history. Is that correct or accurate way to say that?
It's it has a little bit of history wound through the pages, romance and a time travel. I kind of got the idea one day when I was years ago when I was hiking up Elk Meadows by Mount Hood, and I kind of got the idea, and then I kind of looked at the Native American history up there, and so then I got the idea for the book, and I wrote. I wanted to be a trilogy. And so I wrote the first book of trilogy back in 2013. And then I kind of lost interest because I thought, man, I got to write two more books. And then I read Stephen King's comments where he wrote a trilogy once and he said he never would blankety blank do that again. And so I kind of let it go on. And then I decided last year, I got to finish this. So I decided to rewrite the 2013 version, which I was a novice in fiction writing then. I had no idea how to write fiction. So it was a good story, but the editing and formatting was not too good. So I released this book uh, right before the end of the year, and it has all three parts, part one, two, and three in it. So it's got the trilogy all in one volume.
Oh,
So,
so how big of a book is that? What's the page count on that come to for a whole
well,
trilogy in
I
one
thought
book?
I kind of like to write in short chapters. So it has about 381 pages or something like that, I believe.
That's not too bad then.
Yeah.
reasonable amount,
Yes.
reasonable amount of book, especially for trilogy.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, you also wrote a monthly weather column for many years. So
Yeah, I started writing in December 1990 for the Vancouver Columbia newspaper 3 times a week. I'm
oh,
a freelance columnist and I write on weather. So, and I've written poems. I've written for Sunset Magazine, Oregon Coast Magazine, and things, but I've never really written fiction. And writing fiction is quite a bit different than writing, like in real time or writing about facts, things, and nonfiction. And so, but yeah, so I've been writing for a long time, and then I went to Benson High School in Portland, majored in graphic arts journalism. I was the newspaper editor for 2 years, feature editor for 1 year. Then I went to Portland State, took journalism and writing. And so I got a lot of background, but this fiction writing is, uh, you know, I think, I don't know if it was Mark Twain or somebody, some author said, to write drunk and edit sober. Well, the writing drunk was easy. I'm not a drinker, but boy, the editing, I found that editing and formatting is uh, quite the deal. So I've learned a lot, and I've learned a lot about editing and writing fiction. And so I also wrote a book on Northwest weather. It's just kind of about 130 pages long, and it goes through the 12 months. And so I released that one. And then I
and
wrote
what is the
another
name of that
book,
one?
uh, Today's Forecast, Tomorrow's Weather. And it's an insight to uh, memories and weather sayings and what to expect. And it's a term for layman. It's not a technical book at all. And it's really been doing good on Amazon. It was number one in their new releases. So I'm surprised how well it's selling, for a small book. And it's mainly focused on Portland and Seattle. Uh, I did that because I had hip surgery the 1st of January, so I've been in a recliner for 4 weeks, and so I wrote that book, and then I just recently completed another book called uh, Notes from the Quiet Hours, which is now published. It's 131 pages, small book, but it's about, you know, I'm sitting in this recliner, and when you're on medication and surgery, you can't sleep half the night. So I'm sitting there at 2 o'clock in the morning. Everybody else is asleep. The dog's in her crate by my bed, and I'm hearing the refrigerator come on. I'm hearing the heat pump come on. I'm hearing the ice cubes drop. I'm hearing a car go by. And I'm hearing the house creak. And so I decided, there's a lot of things that go on at night if you're just laying there and you can't sleep. So I wrote this entire book, notes from the quiet hours of all my observations and things. And so that's my latest book.
Wow. That does sound fascinating then. So you've got quite a few genres you're writing in there,
Oh,
different things.
yeah. And then the other book I finished before the end of the year was I started it in 2018 and worked on it a little bit, but it's Tide Stalker. It's a mystery thriller. It has a little romance in it. It takes place on the northern Oregon coast by Arch Cape, Cannon Beach. So there's a lot of real places in it, and but it's mainly a mystery book, and so and that's about 380 or 90 pages uh, long, I guess. So actually, I've published 4 books here in the past 2 months, two and a half
Oh,
months. So,
oh
so
wow,
I've been writing like crazy.
that's really cool. So with all the weather related stuff, were you in the column? Were you a meteorologist by trade, or how did
I
you
know
get into the
I
writing
don't
that for
have
that?
I don't have a degree in meteorology, but I studied a lot, took some courses in college. I've been watching the weather since I've been a little kid, and so I've just kind of become a Northwest specialist. Everybody in Southwest Washington knows who I am, uh, because I write my weather columns. The nice thing about writing a column, when you're a columnist, you can write what you want, and the paper doesn't edit anything out because it's all my opinion. And so I like to write like I'm sitting on the front porch, just you and me with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and we're just chatting about the weather. I write a folksy, person to person, just a down to earth weather column. And I think that's why it's so popular.
Yeah, it must be if they've kept on for 30 years. Are you still writing that, or did you retire from that?
Oh no, I'm still writing it.
Oh, excellent.
December was my 35th year.
Oh wow. Okay. Let's see. So the books you've written, and you've got a lot of Northwest actual locations. um, so it sounds like a lot of them might require a lot of research. Do you do a lot of research for those? And if so, can you tell us something maybe interesting you found in researching these
Uh,
books, the
in the
mysteries
book,
especially?
in in the Whispers in the Wind book, I did a lot of research on Native American. In my book, I used the Watlala tribe, which was at Hood River. I even learned the Chinook language, which is about
Oh,
500 words, not
oh
too
wow.
hard to learn.
Huh.
And I use a lot of that in the first part one. I use some of the language in there. And I talk about the tribe moving over to the Warm Springs Reservation, which is history and facts. So I did a lot of study on that, particularly on that book. On Tide Stalker, because it travels, there's a scene where it travels to Maine and it ends up on Vancouver Island. So I did a lot of research on places up there, mainly fishing ports and things. So yeah, I do a lot of research on things because I kind of like to have things not you're writing fiction and you're changing some of the names of the places, but I still like to have an atmosphere because I like to bring in weather. I like to bring in an atmosphere and feeling so someone really knows the area and kind of what's going on. So yeah, I do a lot of research for that.
Okay. So one more question about your before we move on about those is what is your favorite cloud? Do you have a favorite cloud?
My favorite cloud is alto cumulus.
I'll look.
And alto cumulus are those little spotted clouds that you see, and they're just all in a group. They're all in a group, and they're kind of a middle cloud. They aren't a high cloud or a low cloud, and they're just kind of a mottled, like little tufts of cotton. So alto cumulus.
Okay. That's the little fluffy cottony ones.
Yes.
Then are okay. Yeah. So you're a member of NIWA, the Northwest Independent Writers
Oh yes,
Association.
yes, I remember
Oh,
that right from the very
yeah.
beginning. That's kind of what
Oh,
got got me started here.
okay. So you've been there from the beginning, you said. You've been
I
for a
went,
while.
I
How
joined,
like before you started?
I think I started, I went to a meeting um, with Mike and Adam um, in about 2011. I think I joined in 2012. And I went to all the meetings and the little social gatherings they had. And yeah, so I started not too long after they started that.
Yeah. So it sounds like even before you'd written your first book.
Right,
Is that
yeah.
right? Okay.
And then I wrote my first book in 2013, uh, kind of with their encouragement and everything. They were real helpful. And so, yeah, it was a great group. So I've been a member since 2011 or 12. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so we're reaching the end here. Do you have any other upcoming events or public appearances you're going to be at in the near future or in the future? Because
Um,
it's going to be on YouTube for a while.
yeah.
So,
I haven't yet because I'm still recuperating from my. Yeah, I just graduated from a walker to a cane, and so.
hmm,
But this spring, I plan to get out to some bookstores, some local bookstores. The one on Hood River are interested in my Whispers in the Wind because Hood River is mentioned several times in the book. The what is their name? The bookstore, the Wat Lana Wat Mama bookstore in Hood River. I can't remember the name of it. And then a couple bookstores here in Vancouver. I'm gonna get and try and get some author signings with those. So uh, other than that, I haven't really got out into the marketing part of it yet.
oh, great. So where else can people find you? Where can they find your books, and where can they find more about
Okay.
you? You have
Yeah,
a
yeah. I
website
have my
and social media.
author website is patricktimm.com. Patricktimm.com, all one word. And it has my books on there. And then I write, I like to write musings, just little things that are on my mind, and those are posted for anybody to read. But patricktimm.com is, and I have an author Facebook page uh, under Patrick Timm, and
Okay.
that's an author.
And I'll post the links in the video description there
Yeah,
too. So, okay. Oh, very cool. And thank you for joining us today and for
you
being
bet.
interviewed. And is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
No, I just really happy with the organization and the people are friendly. If you need help, I know I've reached out to Jamie a couple of times when I've been stuck trying to format my book cover for Insta Ingram Spark or something, and he's lent a hand and helped me and talking to other people, so everybody's I think we're all real supportive of all of each other, so I really like the community.
And thank you very much. And hope to see you around.
Okay, thanks, Pat.
Bye.
We'll see you.